Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, a 25-year-old graphic designer hustling to make it in the bustling city of Chicago. My apartment may be small, but it's mine, and I've been saving up for something big, a top-tier laptop that'll take my freelance work to the next level. Now, about my family. Well, it's complicated, especially with my older sister Emma. She's been a thorn in my side since we were kids, always trying to outshine me, always envious. I remember once when I won a school art contest. Instead of congratulating me, Emma just rolled her eyes and said, "Big deal, anyone can scribble on paper." That's what I had to deal with growing up. My mom, completely oblivious, would say, "Hey Sarah, why don't you show Emma your drawing?" Emma would sneer, "Yeah, let's see what the little artist can do." And don't even get me started on my parents, Tom and Linda. They might as well have had an Emma fan club sign on the door. It was always Emma this, Emma that, while I was busting my butt and feeling invisible. Despite all that, I kept grinding. I earned a scholarship to art school while Emma was still figuring out what she wanted to do. When I told her the news, she snarked, "They must be desperate for students." I didn't let it get to me, though. Fast forward to now, I have finally saved enough for the laptop of my dreams. A sleek $3,000 MacBook Pro packed with all the power I need for my design work. The day I hit the ordered button, I felt like I was floating. "You sure about this?" My best friend Mike asked. "This is my moment, Mike. I've earned it," I told him. On my birthday, my family came over for a small celebration. Mom and Dad brought a cake, and even Emma showed up. "Happy birthday, sis," she said, handing me an envelope with a $100 gift card inside, grinning like she'd given me the world. "Wow, thanks, Emma," I said, keeping it polite. Then, there was a knock at the door. My heart raced. I knew what it was. I rushed over and came back with a large box, grinning ear to ear. "My new laptop," I announced, tearing into it like a kid on Christmas. It was everything I dreamed of. "Isn't it beautiful?" I asked, holding it up for everyone to see. But Emma's face darkened. "How much did that thing cost?" she asked, her voice tight. "About $3,000, I admitted. Her eyes widened. $3,000? Who spends that much on a laptop? "It's for my work, Emma. I've been saving." "Oh right, your work," she interrupted, making air quotes. "Because little Miss Perfect needs the fanciest toys to doodle on, right?" "It's not doodling, Emma. It's graphic design. It's my career." The tension was thick. Mom and Dad exchanged worried glances, clearly uncomfortable. As the night dragged on, Emma kept making snide comments, each sharper than the last. She was downing wine like water. "Must be nice to waste money like that," she slurred. "Some of us actually work for a living, you know." "I do work, Emma. Really hard." "Please, sitting around all day on your fancy computer isn't work." I was about to snap, but Mom intervened. "Girls, it's Sarah's birthday. Let's try to get along." Finally, as the night wound down, I walked Mom and Dad to the door. "Thanks for coming, and for the cake," I said. "Of course, sweetie. Happy birthday," Mom said, giving me a hug. All that was left was to say goodbye to Emma and survive the rest of this nightmare birthday. But when I turned around, Emma wasn't in the living room anymore. I heard a noise coming from my home office. "Emma," I called out, walking toward the sound. What was she doing? I froze in the doorway, unable to believe my eyes. There was Emma, stumbling drunk, my toolbox open at her feet and a hammer in her hand. On my desk sat my brand new laptop, or what was left of it. "Emma, what are you doing?" I screamed. She turned to me, her eyes wild and unfocused. "Fed up," she muttered, raising the hammer one last time. With a sickening crunch, she brought it down on the remains of my laptop. "Now we're even," she shrieked, dropping the hammer with a thud. I stood there, paralyzed, staring at the wreckage of my dreams scattered across the desk. This wasn't just a laptop. It was years of hard work, savings, and hope, gone in an instant of drunken jealousy. As the reality sank in, a surge of emotions hit me all at once: rage, heartbreak, and a determination that this would be the last time Emma ever hurt me. My hands shook as I dialed 911, my voice trembling as I tried to explain what happened. But by the time I got through to someone, Emma had already stumbled out of my apartment. The cops listened, but without her there, it felt pointless. "We'll file a report, ma'am." But without the suspect present, I knew what that meant. Fat chance of anything coming from this. But I wasn't going to give up that easily. Next, I called my parents, hoping they'd back me up. Mom, Dad, you need to tell the police what Emma did. You were here, you saw how she was acting. There was a long, heavy silence on the other end of the line. Finally, Dad spoke up. Honey, Emma called us earlier. She said she left your party around 8 p.m. We can't lie to the police. My blood ran cold. What? No, that's not true. She was here. She smashed my laptop. You know how she gets when she drinks. When I turned around, Mom chimed in. Now, Sarah, I think you might be exaggerating. Emma would never do something like that. Maybe you had a little too much to drink yourself. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My own parents, once again, choosing Emma's lies over my truth. Fine, I said, my voice ice cold. Believe what you want. I hung up the phone and sank to the floor, surrounded by the shattered pieces of my dreams. But as I sat there, something inside me hardened. I was done being Emma's punching bag, done with my family's willful blindness. It was time to expose Emma for who she really was. I called my best friend, Mike. If anyone could help me pull this off, it was him. Mike, I need your help. It's about Emma. What did she do this time? He asked. I filled him in on everything. When I finished, Mike let out a low whistle. Damn, Sarah, that's messed up. What do you want to do about it? I want to catch her, expose her, make sure everyone sees her for the lying, manipulative person she really is. All right, I'm in. What's the plan? We spent hours brainstorming. Mike's tech skills were going to be crucial. First things first, he said, we need to set up some surveillance in your place, hidden cameras, mics, the works. Next time Emma comes over, we'll catch everything. Good idea. What else? We'll create a fake social media account to keep tabs on her. I can also do some digging into her digital footprint, maybe even her financials. People like Emma usually have skeletons in their closets. Meanwhile, I added, I'll play nice, act like I've forgiven her and the family. Get close again. You sure you can pull that off? Mike asked, concerned. I've been playing nice my whole life, Mike. I can do it a little longer. Over the next few weeks, we put our plan into action. Mike helped me install tiny cameras and mics around my apartment, hidden in picture frames and potted plants. We created a fake Instagram account, Chicago Party Girl, and got Emma to accept the friend request. I reached out to her, playing the forgiving sister. Hey, Em, I've been thinking. I'm sorry about how things went down on my birthday. Can we talk? Her response was quick. Sure, sis. I'm glad you've come to your senses. How about dinner next week? I had to stop myself from throwing my phone. Instead, I typed back, sounds great, can't wait. Meanwhile, Mike was working his magic behind the scenes. One night, he called me, his voice excited. Sarah, you're not going to believe this. I think I found something big. Really big. What is it? I asked, my heart racing. I can't say for sure yet, but it looks like Emma might be embezzling from her company. I need to dig deeper, but the numbers don't add up. I felt a mix of shock and vindication. This was it. This was how we were going to bring Emma down. As I prepared for our dinner, I couldn't help but feel a twinge of sadness. How had it come to this? My own sister, my own family, but I pushed those feelings aside. Emma had made her choices, and now it was time for her to face the consequences. When Emma arrived at my place, I played the part of the forgiving sister. As she walked in, I felt the hidden cameras watching, ready to capture everything. Thanks for coming, Em. I really want us to move past this. Of course, sis. Water under the bridge, right? We chatted, and I carefully steered the conversation toward my work. You know, I've been getting some great freelance gigs lately. Clients love my work. Emma's jaw tightened, her eyes narrowing. Oh, aren't you special? She sneered. Always the golden child. I pushed harder. Remember my birthday? That laptop was going to take my career to the next level. Emma snapped. You and your stupid laptop. You think you're so much better than me, don't you? Well, I showed you. I smashed that thing to pieces and I'd do it again. Bingo. I had her confession on camera. Just then, my phone buzzed. It was Mike. It's done. His text read. We had anonymously tipped off Emma's workplace and the police about her embezzlement. Within days, her world imploded. She lost her job, faced criminal charges, and for the first time, our parents finally saw her true colors. The video of her confession went viral, ruining what was left of her reputation. A week later, I watched from my window as Emma moved out of her fancy apartment. Jobless and alone, I felt a mix of satisfaction and sadness. My sister's toxicity had finally caught up with her. I turned back to my new laptop, ready to move forward with my life and career. For the first time in years, I felt free from Emma's shadow. It was time to focus on my own path, leaving the pain and resentment behind. As I opened up a new design project, I couldn't help but smile. This was my fresh start, my chance to shine without Emma's constant attempts to dim my light. But here's a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have exposed Emma's crimes or tried to help her change? Was justice served, or did I go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.